So today I was about to start with tab. So indents and tabs, we were working on lists and different levels, how to give indents and how to use the ruler where we have the indent markers, hanging indent, first line indent, these things. We were discussing about it yesterday. So we missed on this tab stop. There is something known as tab stop. Now let me give you an example. See, indents are fine with regular documents where you have some contract or agreement. So it is quite traditional. You have it in paragraphs. So especially when you have something like a resume to be prepared, then you require these tab stops. So I'll give you one example of it. Let's say academic details. Let me zoom in a little. You will be able to see clearly. Let's say I have some section like this in the resume, wherein I have to provide all these details like, for example, academic details. I want to provide this. Over here, I'll say master degree. I'm just giving examples like this. Let's say 2000 and next bachelor's degree. This one, let's say I gave 2 years before that. And secondary school. Or just schooling, I'll mention it this way. Something like this. See, now I want all these years to appear at the end of this page. So somewhere over here. I only want the years to be placed there. So what people would do usually, so either you give a lot of spaces or you go for tab space. See, I can give a tab space like this just to align these in a single line. So I want them to align like this. So most of you would have done this, but again, it will not be precise. So sometimes you might have to give more tab spaces depending on the text on the left hand side. And let's say you want them to get aligned just by one tab space. Okay, that would be much easier. So first you go to this hide and show command, click on it. You will be able to see how many tab spaces we have given here. So with these small arrows indicate the tab space that we have given. So let me remove those. I'll remove all these tab spaces from here. Now we have something known as a tab indicator. Here you have this left tab button. You can either change this, see, the tab indicator. So here, if you keep pressing it, you will be able to see this. So this tab stop, I can choose how exactly my text has to be aligned when it stops at a particular tab stop, whether it should be left aligned, right aligned, center aligned, or at the decimal points that we have. you can choose this. So I want it to be right aligned. After you select this, so you just, so which tab you want, based on that you have to first make a selection here and go at the bottom of the ruler. You just place where exactly you want that text to be placed. I'll click on this. Now just you see, you give a single tab space. You can see here, I'm sorry guys, you have to first select the text before doing that. Just like these indents, this will work on the text that we have selected, and then you place it here. So now just go here, give a tab. Just a single tab will work. You have to select the text before giving that tabs. See here it has moved. Just place it here. And you can also move around. This tab space can be moved around. So the way you want it. See? You have to keep it selected and then you have to see how you can move it around. Whether you want to, place it near this. So if you just drag it too far towards the left, it will again obstruct these dates to be aligned properly. So you should make sure there is comfortable space from the text that is there on the left hand side and where you want to align these dates. So the stamp stop is one that I wanted to tell you. Next we'll see lines and paragraph spacing. So let me remove this currently. Over here, see, I'll also hide this now and I'll say rand. Let's say we need around 25 paragraphs. I'll give this. So it will give me some random text like this. Now on this, I want to work on line spacing. See, line spacing is space between the given two lines, and it could be also for the paragraphs that we have. So we all know we can adjust these line spacing to improve the readability of your document. See, you just have to select the lines of which you want to set the spacing. You have in the paragraph group, you have something known as line and paragraph spacing. You have to choose this command. So by default, see, it will be 1.08. If you choose something lesser, it will be a little more compact. Okay, the text will come closer to each other. Or let's say you want to choose, see, based on what you choose, the line spacing will increase. You want to give some custom number to it, click on line spacing options. You get to see this line spacing mode and at what point that you want to give the line spacing, at what amount you want to give the line spacing. So here you can either choose multiple line or a single line. So if you choose a single line, the spacing will be decided on the font size of that line. So if you just go here, I'll choose multiple. So currently it is 3. I want to reduce it to 1.25. And you can also see the paragraph space. So by default, Word gives an extra space between two paragraphs. That is because we have an option here to add or remove the space after or before the paragraph. So if I select this, you can see all the spaces between the paragraphs have been removed. See again, even that can be adjusted here. Go here, line spacing option. So you have spacing before and after over here. So you can decide how much space you want to give after each paragraph. Now I want to set it to 8, let's say, and click OK. See, it reduced a little. So these options you can use to adjust the line spacing depending on what kind of document you're preparing. So if you want a huge space between the lines, you can go and increase it, or you can decrease it as well. And you also have custom line spacing option to choose from. So all these things will, again, as I said, will depend on what kind of document you are preparing. Based on that, your choice of the line space will vary. So is it clear to all of you? The tab stop and the line and paragraph spacing.
Yes, Vidya.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a little question which is off mark from this particular topic. Is
Yes.
this tab function can be used the similar way in PowerPoint also?
Tab. I mean to say this tab stop.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have it over there as well.
yeah. Thank you.
Only thing is you have to enable the ruler, and only then you will get to see those things.
Fine.
But in Word, you have a lot of control on the way your data appears than on PowerPoint. So you have a lot of options to choose from here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So let's say how to give links within your documents. So there are many instances where you want to provide an email ID, or you want to provide link to the same document. Within the document you want to place a link, or you want to give link to some other website, let's say. So you have so many options here. So let me just type here. As soon as you give a mail ID, see, you press enter, it will immediately give a link over there. It will immediately give a link. So let me give that again. Now if you just click on it and see, to click, if it is a browser view, you can directly click on it and the link works. If it is in a document like this, you need to hold click control and then click on it as the instructions are given here. You have to hold on to control button and then click on it. Then it will take you to your mailing application, whatever you have, whether it is Outlook or any other application, it will take you there. So let's see how to give link to a website. Let's say I'll say iTech. So I give this, you press and enter, immediately it will change to a link. So this is very easy to apply any link like this. Suppose you want to change the text to the link, let's say. So I see, currently we have our website link by typing the address of that. So let's say I want to give something like this, my website, and I want to change this text to a link. You just have to keep it selected, right click. You also have an option to choose from the insert tab where you have a link. Okay, you can also choose from here, or you could also right click and say link. So when you choose from this, see, you have all the options. So link to which part? So whether it's an existing file or web page, place within the same document, create a new document, or an email address. See, within this link, you have to understand there are two parts which are important. One is the address. Okay, I want to go for this. See, address is where exactly you want to connect it. So this part, I'll give the same address here. And text to display. See, this you can keep the same as the address that you have provided, or you can provide a different text that has to be displayed. So now let's say okay. See, it shows the same. And before sending this document to anyone, please make sure all those links are working properly. You just test it once and then you try sending it to others. So whenever you want to share those files which has got some links, please test it before sending them. Okay. Now next we'll see about applying changes to the layout, the page layout, and the printing. So there are so many things that we have to do in Word. So you have got a huge list of options to choose. So I'll go on one by one. So you have to work in this layout tab now. Just click on it. I want to show you how to give margins, choose the page size, why exactly you want to choose the orientation. So these things. See again, Word enables you to prepare a lot of different types of documents here. It could be a job application, it could be a document that you are submitting, it could be an agreement. So there are a lot of things that we can prepare in Word. So based on the content, how exactly you want to print your data, that decides these things. So you can also just go for this, select this small arrow that is there in the corner of page setup. When you click on it, so this is in a single place you can apply changes to the paper, the layout of your sheet, and the margins, everything at a single place. So you can go here. See, I want to first choose the paper size. So currently it says letter. You can choose any different size from this, or you can also go here, choose custom size, and provide your own size over here. So whichever page size that you are providing, you can choose that. Let's say I want to give 5 by 7. This is the custom size that I want to give. So it will show me like this. The page is a little narrower. So let's say I'm creating a flyer or some invitation which is of a custom size. I can choose that particular size from the page size that we have here. Or you could also choose from a wide range of page size that we have. So usually we keep it as letter or an A4 document. Okay. So A4 is a little smaller than the letter, and a little bigger than letter is the legal, so which has got a bigger page size. You can see it will be much uh, lengthier compared to the letter or A4. So so it all depends again what kind of document you're preparing. So I'll keep it as A4. Next is, how do you want to start this? So headers and footers, I'll come to that section later. Okay, how exactly it has to be aligned, the page alignment. So you can see the preview here as and when I change it. See, I want to keep it center, top, say apply to the whole document or this point forward. That means so whichever sheet you have selected. So now let's say I want to see the preview after setting all these things. I want to either keep the orientation as portrait or landscape. So pages, mirror margins, 2 pages per sheet. Word also allows you to choose how many pages per sheet have to be printed. So if you choose 2 page per sheet, it is going to shrink the text and make it a little difficult for your text to be read. So choose wisely whether it is really required to give it that way. Okay, I'll choose normal and say okay. Now to check how it gets printed, you can go here in the file tab, click on print. See, you get to see this. So I'll give it 100%. You can see the document of one single page, and you can choose from variety of options over here. how many copies have to be printed, and if you are connected to multiple printers, you can choose from here which printer has to be used for printing purpose, whether you want to print all pages within this document, or you can also give a range of sheets to be printed. Now let's say I only want to print so first and third, so I give 1 comma 3. We are not printing the second sheet here, so you can skip either way. You could also provide a range like this, 3 to 5 and again 7. So if you have so many sheets, when you have multiple pages to print, you can give so. So you can choose like this, and you can also say how exactly it has to be printed. So these printing options will depend on what kind of printer you're using. Some printers will let you choose to print on both the sides, but it is not manual. It is going to print it all by itself. So it all depends on the configuration of your printer that you have. So next, collated. See, if you are going to print multiple copies of your particular document, so to make copies in the same flow, you can choose collated 1 2 3. So what this does is, suppose I have 3 sheets, it prints all 3 sheets at once. First time, second time again all 3 sheets, it will print in these sets. Now, if I want all these individual sheets to be printed multiple times, that is, if I give the copies as 10, I want the first sheet 10 copies, second sheet 10 copies, and third sheet 10 copies. You could do it this way also. Only thing is you have to choose uncollated here. And next, you also have this page orientation and page size even over here. And let's work on this margins. See here, either you can choose from the predefined margins that we have, or you could also go and set the margin to your comfortability. So, however, you want to provide. And you also have something known as gutter position. See, this gutter position is if at all you're printing a big document, a book, let's say. So, when you have to bind the book, you need more space on the left hand side. The reason, when you bind it, so when the pages are together very close, so if it is a really big book, when you flip the pages, you don't want the words to get inside that pinned position. So you want to be extra careful, leave some space behind for the binding purpose, and then go about printing your document or book, whatever it is. So that is this gutter position. So whether you want to give it at the top or at the left, so it all again depends on you. So you can increase this position. So let me show you. I'll give 1.5 here. See, you can see here in the preview. So this area is considered as the gutter position. So here none of your word the document data is printed, it's left behind. So this area can be used for pinning sake, or you know keeping your pages together. So that area is this gutter position. And you can also give custom margins on all the 4 sides of your sheet. So I'm okay with this 1 inch that we already have. I'll just say okay. See, it has given you the extra space that's required for pinning your sheets. So this is about how you want to go about printing your document, what all you have to take care. See here, as I said, you can choose how many pages per sheet. So I'll have to remove those margins that I have set. So click on it. I'll remove the cutter position. So I don't want anything over here. See, and say okay. Now over here, let's say I want to print 2 pages per sheet. So it will allow you to print so. So that's how it displays. Scale to paper size. So you can make adjustments over here. So if you give 2 pages per sheet, so the data of 2 sheets will be printed in the same sheet. So you might have done this, especially if you are, students who require some notes to be printed on, just to save your money. You can do such adjustments to get it printed, but the readability will be lost. So don't go for it always. So are you clear with all the printing options that we saw here?
Yes.
Yeah. Vidya,
Yes,
eh,
sir.
the numbering will be covered in a different topic.
Yes, yes. I have a separate topic. I'll be giving you the page numbers, headers, and footers in a different section.
And second thing is when you fit to scale to paper size, right? Scale
Yes,
to margin.
yes.
Just a quick one. If I have to print it in A3, right?
Yeah.
Not in A4, A3, then I'll have to make the changes in scale, fit to scale, right?
It will adjust anyways, and it all depends on your, the margin size that you have given. In
Yep.
case you want to adjust something, scale to paper size, you can go and select this.
Simply, okay.
Yes, yes. You can do so.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'll change the page size. I'll keep it A4. Yeah. So this is the thing. Now let me show you how to apply breaks. Breaks are really good to, separate a section of your document and keep it undisturbed. So let me take you here. I'll show you in a different document. Let me share that to you. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Westbrook Parker. So this is an example document. I just took it. See here, you have lot of instances where you have to provide page breaks. So page breaks is a really convenient way to split your data. Let's say I have given some summary over here. So immediately after this, there would be some other data also. So like this one. I know we have left with lot of
Excuse me.
space
It's not
given.
visible for me. Hello.
You're not able to see it.
No, I've just had that video provides. That's it. That's in my screen.
Okay, let me check. Now,
Yeah, now I can see.
okay, good. So here you can see a document that it is already, a prepared document. So we
Okay.
have this title page and, some executive summary given. And in the next page, you get to see this. So here I have seen many giving space just to move the data to the next sheet. You don't have to do that. See, let me click on this show or hide button. You can see this something known as page break. So you have lot of breaks, column break, section break. Okay. What is this page break? You see what happens when I remove it. Can you see this? See this one, it is getting included in my executive summary, which is not required for me. See, the executive summary ends here. And I want all the other details to appear in the next sheet. Either you can give this space, you just keep pressing enter, it will go to the next sheet. But the problem is, if at all you edit something in the previous sheet or the next sheet, so anywhere within this document, if you change something, it will affect this part. See, now let's say I remove this, I'll remove some line over here, few lines. You can see it has come over here. See, these things should not happen. These things should not happen. For that reason, we don't use these space that we give. Instead, you place the cursor on the line which has to move to the next page. You go to insert, or you can also go to layout. So layout has got a lot of break options. So here you select this, you can see a lot of breaks that are given here. Page breaks, column, text wrapping. So section break. So there are so many things here. I'll choose page break. So it will just take you to the next page. And even if I make any changes at this, it doesn't affect the data present in the next sheet. This will not move, it will stay in place. So my document is safe. I don't have to worry about looking at all the sheets whenever I change something in my document. So these breaks are really helpful that way. The next is, see here, even here, see this part, I want to come, see this along with the table that I have here. So this heading has to appear right on top of the sheet. So what I can do, just go here, you place your cursor where you want to move it to the next sheet and go here, apply page break, see, and you can now remove this format as well. Go to home tab. I don't want to see that blue line. I'll select normal. Sorry, keep the cursor here, select normal. Yeah. So these page breaks, section breaks, space, and enter marks are invisible to us usually. So to make it visible, you have to keep it selected. So if you don't require them now, just remove it. They'll not be visible to you. So to make sure it all fits in the same page, it looks neat, you can use this page breaks. Let me show you something known as column break. See now, if you see here, I have list of clients, okay, given here. Along with that, I have some text as well. So this is appearing because I have arranged the sheet to display in two different columns. We'll be working on that as well. And the next topic is how to apply columns. So I'll show you that. So here, currently, now if I want to move to the place over here, I don't want to appear right after this as two different columns. So just select it. You can say insert, or you just go to layout, choose continuous. I am giving a section break here. I'll give continuous. See, it'll move down. And from this section, I want to remove this column. See, two column that it was appearing as. See, the reason why we use this section break is it lets you apply different formatting for a different section. See, for this section, you have you have two column view. You can see that here. But for this one, we have removed the columns. It is appearing as though it's a normal paragraph. So this section break lets you do so. And it has got lot of other options as well. Suppose I have a sheet here. See, this is a revenue projection sheet. I want to show this sheet in the landscape mode. Only this sheet. My entire document should be in this orientation, portrait, and I want to show only this chart sheet to be in the landscape. I can do so by applying section break. So just go here, we'll add another, you know, enter. So let's go and enable this show or hide. Then I'll be able to know there is something here which is obstructing me to do so. Just remove this. See, we have a page break here. Before this, I want to add a section break and say add continuous. I want to keep it continuous. And here, I would like to give another continuous section break. Now, once you give this, See, only this sheet. I want to change it to landscape. The text is getting overlapped here. So you have to make few adjustments to, keep it that way. We have a lot of breaks here. That's the reason. Now only this chart will appear in the landscape and rest of the document will be in the portrait mode. So this section breaks will allow you to design your document in this manner. Now if I take printout, I can align only this sheet as landscape and rest of them can be kept as portrait, so that there is more visibility. I can see the chart a little more bigger when I keep it in the landscape mode. So you can use these things. So any doubts here regarding breaks? Anyone? Any doubts here, guys?
Yeah, need to be explored more by practice, right? Because there
Yeah,
are
yeah. You
so
have to place those section breaks properly in order to see the change
yeah,
exactly the way you want.
yeah,
Yes, of course, you have to explore the options.
yeah.
And
But this
I,
is interesting. This is interesting and very useful in day-to-day office environment.
yes, of course, like when you have to prepare such documents, a complex, placements of data, then you can take help of these breaks and other things.
Yeah, because executive summaries have become the most important part of the tenders these days,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In the
You have
contract.
to follow those formats in a particular way. Only then your tenders and these things are accepted. So you can now take help of these options that are available to help you format your document the way you want it.
Can you give an other example of a column break if it's time permits to you, please?
Yes, sure. Like where exactly you want to know where how it is used. Okay, let me show you in the same column that we have here. I'll remove this show or hide button. See, I want from this exactly at this point, I want these lines to appear in the next column for me. I have already split this into two columns. It is displaying like that. And let's say I want this column. So the data within this column should move to the next column. Let's say over here. I want this to be starting from here. I'll go select this, or I'll place the cursor over here right at that point where it has to split. I'll go to layout and choose column break. So when you click on it, you can see it appears in the next line. So we had other breaks given here. So you can give some backspace to get it back. So whenever you have inserted some breaks, make sure it doesn't affect your other data. So you can remove from here. See, we have another column break. I'll just remove from here. You can see all the data that you wanted came up. So it is appearing in the next column that we have. So column breaks will only let you, break the columns. Now this data, these four lines were present on the left hand side. I wanted to break that column and, show it in the next column. I can use the column breaks over here. Now let me show you how to arrange the data in columns. Then you'll understand it much better. Suppose I have some data just like this one. So here I would like to give section break. I'll go here, I'll say continuous. So it appears over here, right here. So now we have some data which has to be displayed in different columns. Let's say for some purpose, either to adjust the data and save the sheets that you have, the space that is left out in the sheets, you want to split those columns, so you can choose from here. See, this lets you a lot of options how exactly you want to split it to three columns, or you want a narrow column towards your left side. you, you have to keep your data selected for that, and then you need to apply it. See, like this. So you want to split it to three columns, or you want a column which is, you know like this. On the left hand side it's a little smaller, and on the right hand side it's a little bigger. You can use this for your resumes actually. On the left hand side you can give all your personal details, and on the right hand side you can show the other data that you have. You might have seen such layouts in some resume templates. So it also lets you choose this manner, and you can adjust, see the margins over here, and you also have indents for individual sections of the sheet. You can use this place to adjust it how exactly it has to be displayed. You want to narrow down, so you can use these hanging indent over here, or you can also use the left hand, so left indent and right indent, and you can adjust your data using this. So there are a lot of things that you can take care over here as well. So this is about arranging your data in different columns. Suppose you have some custom requirement of columns, you can click on more columns over here, and you can choose to adjust all those things manually. So how exactly column and what should be the width and spacing, and for the second column what exactly should be the width and spacing. So these things you can adjust over here. So number of columns, so line, do you want to give any line between the columns, you can give. So see, a line also appears over here. So you can customize your data like this. So you must have seen such columns in newspapers. That's how they adjust. So they choose the sheet size and how many columns have to appear. And you also see some columns are really wide and some of them are really, very short, or they're not much wider. So all these things can be done using these columns option that we have got. So you can also go for the presets that are already available, or you can choose to give your own width and spacing. So spacing is going to decide how much space is there between the columns over here. You can also reduce them so that there is a very little space between the columns here. Okay. Is it clear to you, all of you?
Yeah, this is clear.
Yes, with
Okay. Okay. So